Hey everyone! Welcome back to the podcast where we make learning English practical, real, and a little bit fun. I'm Alex.
And I'm Jamie. And today's episode is all about something that can be exciting and scary at the same time: talking to strangers in English. But don't worry, we're going to show you how to do it safely and with confidence.
That's right. A lot of people say the fastest way to improve your speaking is by having real conversations. And what better way to do that than by chatting with someone new? But we get it, starting a conversation with a stranger in a different language can feel intimidating.
Totally. But the good news is, there are ways to make it feel natural, low pressure, and even enjoyable. So in this episode, we're going to talk about where to find opportunities, how to start those conversations, and how to stay safe while doing it.
Let's start with the biggest question: where do you even find strangers to talk to?
Great question. One of the easiest places is online. There are apps and platforms made just for language exchange. Tandem, HelloTalk, Speaky, Conversation Exchange, those are just a few examples.
And the cool thing about those is that everyone there wants to talk. It's not like walking up to someone random on the street. You both know you're there to practice.
Exactly. And you can usually filter by interests, age, or even goals. So you're more likely to match with someone who's a good conversation partner.
But what if someone wants to try this in person? Like at a cafe or during travel?
In that case, one good trick is to look for language meetups or English conversation clubs in your city. These are safe group settings where people meet to chat and help each other.
Yes. And if you're traveling or studying abroad, just being open and friendly can work wonders. You can ask for directions, order food, or make small talk while waiting in line. Every moment is a chance to practice.
And small talk is huge. You don't have to dive into deep topics right away. Even a simple "Hi, where are you from?" or "Is this your first time here?" can open the door.
Now let's talk about the safety part, because that's just as important.
Absolutely. When you're talking to strangers, especially online, protect your personal information. Don't share your full name, address, or anything too private.
And if you ever feel uncomfortable, it's okay to end the conversation. Trust your instincts. Most language partners are nice and respectful, but it's okay to say no.
Also, if you're meeting someone in real life, choose a public place and let a friend know where you're going. Think of it like a first date. You want it to be safe and relaxed.
That's a good way to put it. And remember, you're allowed to make mistakes. Most people will appreciate that you're trying, and they'll probably be impressed by your effort.
Right? The point isn't to be perfect. It's to connect, learn, and build your confidence one sentence at a time.
Okay, now let's get into the practical stuff. Say you're in a cafe and you spot someone who looks like they might be open to chatting. What's something simple you could say?
One of my favorites is a comment about the place or the situation. Like, "This place has great coffee, right?" Or "Have you been here before?" Something low pressure that invites a response.
Yeah, and if they reply with more than just a yes or no, then you've got a conversation going. Then you can follow up with something like, "I'm actually practicing my English, hope you don't mind me talking to you."
That's a great way to set the tone. Most people are really understanding when they know you're trying to improve. And it takes the pressure off you to be perfect.
Exactly. And even if the person doesn't want to talk, that's okay. You tried, and that's already a win. It's like building a muscle: the more you try, the easier it gets.
And you'll start picking up on the rhythm of real conversation. Textbooks can't teach you how people actually talk in casual situations.
Like slang, filler words, tone, things you can't really learn until you hear them in real time.
And you'll notice common questions that come up again and again. Where are you from? Why are you learning English? What do you do? If you prepare answers for those, you'll feel more ready.
That's such a good point. Preparing a few short answers can make a big difference. It gives you something to fall back on when your mind goes blank.
Totally. And the more confident you feel answering those, the more energy you have to actually enjoy the conversation, instead of stressing about grammar.
Which reminds me, don't be afraid to ask someone to slow down or repeat something. Just say, "Sorry, could you say that again?" Or, "I didn't catch that."
Yes. That's real communication. Even native speakers do that all the time. It shows you care about understanding.
Another thing you can try is setting a mini goal before each conversation. Like, "Today I want to introduce myself and ask 2 questions." That gives you something concrete to work on.
Smart. That makes it feel more like a challenge and less like a test. And then, after the conversation, reflect a little. What went well? What was difficult? What do you want to improve next time?
You could even write that in a journal. Like a conversation diary. That's great for noticing progress.
And don't forget, every mistake is a lesson. Every conversation, even the awkward ones, brings you closer to fluency.
Right, and sometimes the conversations that feel awkward in the moment are actually the most valuable. They teach you what to work on and what situations challenge you the most.
Exactly. I remember once I totally froze when someone asked me a simple question in English. Later, I replayed it in my head and practiced my answer. The next time it came up, I was ready.
That's such a common experience. People think fluency is about never struggling, but honestly, it's about getting used to the struggle and getting better each time.
Yes. And I think when you talk to strangers, especially in real-world situations, you also build social confidence, not just language skills.
You realize that most people aren't judging you. They're curious, they're kind, and they might even admire your effort to speak a second language.
It's actually kind of inspiring. Like, you become a reminder to others that learning is lifelong, and that stepping outside your comfort zone is powerful.
And it's contagious too. Once you've had a few good interactions, it becomes addictive. You start to look for chances to talk to people.
Yeah, it stops feeling like homework and starts feeling like adventure. Like, what new word will I learn today? What story will someone tell me?
Exactly. And even just short chats can make your day. Like asking for directions, ordering food, complimenting someone's outfit. It all counts.
That's the dream, right? To reach a point where you're just speaking, not translating, not doubting, just flowing.
So true. And the best part is, the more you do it, the more you'll trust yourself. You'll start to think in English more naturally and hesitate less.
That's the dream, right? To reach a point where you're just speaking, not translating, not doubting, just flowing.
Totally. And you know, when you stop translating in your head, it's like flipping a switch. You're finally engaging with the language directly, and everything becomes faster, more instinctive.
That's when real fluency begins to grow. It's not about being perfect. It's about being present in the moment and letting the conversation unfold naturally.
And that only comes with practice, lots of real, spontaneous conversations. No script, no plan. Just 2 people trying to connect.
Honestly, I think the fear of making mistakes is what stops most people. But when you talk to strangers, especially native speakers, you realize that nobody expects you to be perfect.
Yes. In fact, most people appreciate your effort. And they'll often help you repeat themselves, or teach you something new, without even realizing they're teaching.
It becomes a collaboration instead of a test. You're both part of the exchange, and every little success builds your confidence.
Like when you manage to tell a joke and someone laughs, or you understand a cultural reference, that's such a win.
Or when someone doesn't even realize English isn't your first language. That's the ultimate compliment.
Oh yeah. That means all your hard work is paying off. And the best part? You didn't need a textbook to get there. Just real-world practice.
Exactly. So next time you're out and about, at a cafe, a bus stop, or even online, try saying hi, asking a simple question. You never know where the conversation might lead.
And every stranger you meet is a chance to learn, to grow, and to become just a little more fluent than you were yesterday.
Right, and if you're nervous, remember you can start small. Just a greeting or a compliment can open the door to a conversation. Something like, "I really like your jacket," or "Is this seat taken?" Simple things.
Exactly. It's not about launching into a deep discussion about philosophy or politics right away. It's about warming up, getting comfortable with the rhythm of real interaction.
And if you don't understand something, that's okay too. You can just say, "Sorry, could you say that again?" Or "I'm learning English, can you explain that?"
Honestly, saying you're learning English can actually make people more understanding and patient. It also shows confidence. You're not hiding it, you're owning it.
And sometimes, that honesty makes people more curious about you. They might ask, "Where are you from?" or "How long have you been learning?" Then suddenly, you're having a full-on conversation.
And you're learning all the way through it, new words, slang, pronunciation, tone. It's like live practice that's way more effective than just repeating phrases in a textbook.
Totally. And if you're worried about safety, remember, you can always keep it public. Talk to someone at a bookstore, a park, or even through a language exchange app where people expect to talk with learners.
That's a great point. Online communities like Tandem, HelloTalk, or even Reddit's language subs can be great for connecting with people safely and practicing anytime.
And once you get a bit more comfortable, you can challenge yourself. Try telling a story, giving your opinion, or asking about theirs. Real conversation skills develop from that back and forth.
Plus, it's fun. You meet new people, learn about their lives, and get better at English all at once. It's like travel without leaving your city.
Exactly. And the more you do it, the more natural it feels. Before long, speaking English stops being scary. It becomes something you look forward to.
And here's something interesting. Once you've had a few of these conversations, your brain starts adapting. You stop translating in your head so much and begin thinking in English, even mid-sentence.
Yeah, because when you're in the middle of a conversation, there's no time to pause and translate everything. You just respond naturally. It pushes your fluency forward without you realizing it.
It's like building a new muscle. At first, it's awkward and uncomfortable. But over time, it gets easier, smoother, and suddenly you're speaking without overthinking.
You also start to notice patterns, like how native speakers connect their words, or the kinds of phrases they use when they agree, disagree, or react to something.
Totally. For example, instead of saying, "I understand," someone might say, "Gotcha," or "I see what you mean." That kind of casual language is hard to pick up from textbooks but super common in real conversations.
And those expressions make you sound more natural too. It's not just about grammar, it's about sounding human, like someone people actually want to talk to.
Another cool benefit is confidence. The more you talk, the less afraid you are of making mistakes. You realize that most people don't care if your grammar is perfect, they just care that you're trying to connect.
Exactly. And even when you do mess up, you learn from it. That's how language works. Trial and error. It's not about perfection, it's about progress.
So don't wait until you feel ready. You get ready by doing it. Speak up, make mistakes, laugh a little, and grow from it.
And remember, every fluent speaker you meet was once a beginner. They just kept going. And you can too.
And here's something else. When you talk to strangers, especially online, you get exposed to different accents and speaking styles. One day you might chat with someone from Texas, and the next, someone from London or Mumbai.
That variety is so powerful. You start picking up on the rhythm of English, the tone shifts, even the cultural references that come up in casual chats. It makes you more adaptable and better at real-world communication.
And honestly, the more you do it, the less intimidating it becomes. Talking to strangers sounds scary at first, but once you've done it a few times, it turns into this fun challenge, like, how well can I keep this conversation going?
Yes. And sometimes the pressure of speaking with someone new makes your brain work harder, and that's a good thing. It pushes you to use what you know actively, not just passively recognize it.
Another tip. Reflect after the conversation. What went well? What words were hard to remember? Did you get stuck at any point? Use that to guide your next practice session.
Exactly. You could even write about it in your language journal, like, "Today I talked to someone from Canada about hobbies, and I forgot how to say cycling. Next time, I'll remember."
And over time, those small reflections add up. You become more fluent not just through speaking, but through analyzing your experience and learning from it.
It's a cycle: speak, reflect, improve, repeat. That's how confidence grows.
Plus, you never know, some of these random conversations might turn into real friendships, language exchange partners, or even opportunities you never expected.
Right? It's not just about practicing English, it's about making real human connections. That's what keeps the learning journey meaningful and exciting.
So if you're nervous about talking to strangers, start small. Comment on a post. Join a group chat. Try a language exchange app. Just take that first step.
Because the truth is, fluency grows when you use English in real, spontaneous conversations, not when everything is perfect, but when you're brave enough to try.
And that's where the magic happens. Every mistake is a step forward. Every new word you use in context is a win. So keep going, keep speaking, and most importantly, keep connecting.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. We hope it's inspired you to speak more, fear less, and grow your confidence through conversation.
We'll catch you next time, and until then, happy learning, and don't be afraid to start a conversation. You never know where it might lead.